This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No. Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. Prompter down over here, so we're going to go over there.
Right.
That's right. Good to see everybody. We're starting today with our good friend, Dr. Coley, to help us go over some of the biggest health headlines out there. First, we want to get your take on this. Drugstore chains, I'm not sure if y'all have heard, including CVS, Walgreens, and Rite Aid, are closing thousands of stores across the U.S., especially in rural areas. Now, it's leaving some communities concerned because people don't know where they'll get their medicine. That seems clear. There are now fears that people are going to find themselves in what are now being called pharmacy deserts. So what are patients in communities like this supposed to do? Doc, can you solve all of this for us in the next 30 seconds?
This is actually a glass half full situation, I think, guys. You know? So why are pharmacies closing? How do pharmacies make money?
Deodorant and razors?
No, the opposite, selling prescription drugs.
Medicines, right?
Yes, and when it comes to reimbursements on these prescription drugs, they've gone way down. So these pharmacies are not making the kind of money that they should. Now, who do you think is impacted the most by this?
Poor people?
Poor, sick people.
And those on public insurance, like Medicaid. And so that's the problem here, is the places that are closing are in these poor communities, and these poor people can't get access to the drugs. But if you can't go to the mountain, have the mountain come to you. And so mail order pharmacies, I think, are the glass half full here. And I think people can turn this around and make it so that they don't have to go to their medicines. The medicines actually come to them, and they start using these mail order pharmacies instead, which are cheaper for the cost of the drug. They save you gas money driving there. Now, the drawback of the mail order pharmacies, of course, is we don't have the pharmacist to give you the education. You don't have a human being on the other end sort of teaching you, and that's the part that we have to fill.
I would also think porch pirates would really, this
I
is
never
going to change.
thought about that with opiates and all of that.
Well, you know, a lot of them are delivered through the postal service, so they actually show up in your mailbox rather than on your porch. But you're making a good point now. Let's say it gets lost or it gets delayed, then who's responsible?
Right.
But I think healthcare system is taking sort of a different view now to medicine, where medicine needs to be in your living room. It needs to come to you rather than you having to go to the doctor's office to get it. And personally, like, I never thought I would buy my shoes online because shoes are something you have to try on. But I've really started doing that now, trying them on and sending them back. So I think if we can innovate around these types of problems, I don't actually see this as a glass half empty.
Well, I want to ask you about this new trend that's popped up on social media. It's called mouth taping, and it's supposed to stop you from breathing through your mouth while you sleep. And there are claims it comes with all sorts of health benefits. So is this really safe and effective?
You know, the concept is a good concept. So you're absolutely right. You don't want to breathe through your mouth when you're sleeping. You want to breathe through your nose, because what does your nose do? It filters the air, right? It gets rid of allergens and particles. It humidifies and warms it up so that it doesn't get into your lungs and get cracking. And it's just a good way to breathe. The problem is when you tape one of your two orifices for breathing, you're creating a lot of problems. Of course, you can have things like allergic reaction to the tape and just messing up your sleep patterns. But more importantly, how do you kill someone while they're sleeping?
You suffocate
That's right.
them. I feel like you're winning the quiz.
Right? And so,
if
you are doing this, you're systematically closing one of the two orifices that your body needs to breathe. Let's say you have an obstruction in your nose due to a deviated septum, or for whatever reason the air is not able to get in or get out fast enough. That could really create a problem with breathing. And what if something needs to get out? What if you need to cough up phlegm, or what if you're vomiting or something like that, and you've got your mouth taped? You're actually going to aspirate on those materials. So doing this is incredibly unsafe, ill-advised, and I have tons of patients who ask me about it every day, and I tell them this is not the way to change the way you breathe. The way to do it is to do regular exercises on your throat and mouth to really try to have air push in through the nose more. The nasal strips work really well. Sleeping on your side works really well, but please don't tape your mouth.
All right, Doc, I want to ask you about something because I actually do it. It has to do with sleep hygiene, but people are saying that if you hit the snooze button after you've woken up and get another 15 minutes, that really helps. And I feel like it's almost like a power nap on top of your sleep, and it kind of really kickstarts my day. Is there any science to back that up?
I'm a huge snoozer. In fact,
Oh,
70% of Americans are, yeah. I systematically set my alarm earlier so that I build in the time for
I do that.
snoozing according to when I have to wake up. And most of us snooze about 22 minutes. That's the average. And so in the short term, Al, it can be really helpful, right? Because there's this phenomena called sleep inertia, which means, and we've all had it, when we wake up, we feel like hungover with sleep. Right? And it takes us about an hour or so.
Yes.
The camera's on me.
Yes.
Tequila makes the sleep inertia worse,
Right.
but you feel like you need to go back to sleep, or you're still kind of half asleep in a daze, and it takes a half an hour for it to wear off. So if you snooze, you're sort of helping with that sleep inertia because you're sort of digging into that time a little bit, and you're not going from 0 to 100. As soon as you wake up, you don't have to get up and start running. But I think chronically, it could actually be more disruptive because it changes your sleep architecture, your sleep patterns, and the quality of sleep that you're getting in those 10 minutes power naps, it's just not good quality. So we need longer term studies, but if you're having to snooze every day, this is a sign of a bigger problem, which is that you're not getting enough sleep. So you need to go to bed earlier and stop chipping away at your sleep, basically.
But all the good stuff is on late at night.
I know.
Yeah.
And when the kids are asleep.
Right.
The only time by yourself.
Prime time.
That's where you use your DVR.
Oh, there you go. All right, Doc. So there are some new headlines about the popular weight loss drug Ozempic and Wegovy. A new study shows they may reduce the risk of dementia. Is there any truth to this?
Yeah, this drug is turning out to be such an incredible drug. So this comes out of China. These Chinese researchers gave semaglutide, which is the active component of Ozempic and Wegovy, to these animals, to these mice, and they looked at their memory tests, and they looked at also whether or not they had plaque deposition in their brain. And these animals had an animal model of Alzheimer's. So it was actually studying it in kind of Alzheimer's animals, and they found that they did better.
Are you joking?
No.
Dr. Coley was out on this early.
Yeah,
like,
you
when
were.
we first did this story, way before anybody was talking about it, I was like, Dr. Coley's going to destroy this
I
drug.
thought so
It's
too.
bad. And you were like, I love it, and here we are almost a year later.
Well, and we know that obesity can lead to dementia. And so we don't know if it's through obesity or independent of obesity, like through inflammation, that it's helping. But it seems to have promising effects. It's now being studied in humans as well with Alzheimer's. But,
Wow.
but I have to say, I have some cautions about the drug as well, especially now that we're using it more on a population level. We're seeing possible suicide signal that might emerge because it turns down your reward centers in your brain. So if it turns down the volume on those centers a little bit too much, you could have suicidal thoughts. It can affect your pancreas. It can cause stomach paralysis because it changes the way your stomach empties. So, 5 to 10 out of 1,000 people will have some of these concerning
That's a lot.
side effects,
That's
which is a lot when we're starting to use it in
We're growing it out. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
We've talked about some of these main side effects from these weight loss drugs, and I hear they're updating some of the warnings. So is that one of the warnings? Are there any others?
So these are the ones I would be concerned about. Pancreatitis, which is inflammation of the pancreas, that could be potentially life-threatening. We talked about the suicidal ideation, and then the stomach paralysis. And this tells us as physicians that maybe we need to be screening people better before they start the medicine, because we don't yet know who will go on to get the stomach paralysis, but we know that diabetics get stomach paralysis just from the diabetes, because that sugar can paralyze affect the nerves that change the stomach emptying. So I think this means to me, not that we stop using the drug because it's a really incredible drug, but that we screen people better for side effects and try to do research around who's going to develop these types of concerning side effects versus who isn't and just going to benefit.
Such good information.
Man.
Thank you so much. DBL Nation, be sure to follow Dr. Coley on social media at Kyle Coley MD. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Doc.
Coming up on DBL, our interview with a woman who chose to live in a tent with her son. Why did she choose the minimalist lifestyle? Plus, an off-duty pilot is charged with attempted murder after trying to shut down a plane's engines mid-flight. We're talking all about that coming up next.
talking about
Mouth taping.
I'm taking
Yeah,
your
so
chair
if you tape
out.
your mouth, you actually have less gum disease. You can have less bad breath. You can have less dry mouth when you wake up. So my patient was saying that it's changed his life, and I said, absolutely not. The science does not support this.
Okay.
Well, Anthony, my husband, did it a couple nights.
Does he snore?
Yes, like I'm very like it's to the point where I'm concerned. Like maybe he should go like
Get tested for
apnea.
sleep apnea testing.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially here in Colorado, it's very common because we're at higher altitude. Yeah.
Jer needed it, my
And
dad, and
switch
now
it to
he sleeps with the.
CPAP.
But it's such better sleep, such better quality sleep. Sorry, go ahead.
And people
But
travel with their
authority
CPAP.
people don't want to use a seat.
Very true. Very
Well, and I don't know if this is like really common, but my girlfriend, her mother just had a surgery where it's like you get something implanted and
Yes.
then they activate
Yes,
it
so
after
if
2
you-
months and
if-
you don't have to use the CPAP
Get outta
anymore.
here.
Yeah, they like attach something to your tongue.
Like a bio. Oh, so it
It's
presses
a
down.
nerve stimulation. Yeah. So what is sleep apnea? Basically means that your tongue kind of obstructs your airflow. So think about like pinching off a straw. The air is not getting in.
Right.
So that gasping awake is not because they snored themselves and woke themselves up. It's because the oxygen got so
They're
low.
literally trying to gasp
Their
for breath.
brain is trying to wake them up so that they can get more oxygen. And so what you're talking about, Al, is if people can't tolerate the CPAP, which is a mask that pushes air in, because normally when we breathe, we suck, we don't push. So it's a little uncomfortable for some people. Then you can get a nerve stimulator where you have a little remote control and it pushes the tongue out of the way.
And you don't have to travel with the CPAP.
30 seconds.
It's not pleasant.
Welcome back to DBL. We have to talk about this. An off-duty pilot is being charged with 83 counts of attempted murder after trying to turn off a plane's engines mid-flight Sunday night. Here he is, 44-year-old Joseph David Emerson was charged after he tried to activate the engine's fire suppressant systems on a flight from Everett, Washington to San Francisco. He was seated in the jump seat behind the plane's pilot and co-pilot, and thankfully, I mean really thankfully, they were able, those two, to subdue him before it was too late. Now, we're about to play some audio from the cockpit. Take a listen.
We've got the guy that tried to shut the engines down out of the cockpit. We want law enforcement as soon as we get on the ground and park.
So a passenger on board described seeing the off-duty pilot as they brought him to the back of the plane, and here's how she described it to the Today Show. This is insane.
I made eye contact with him. It was like one of those like soul chilling, like dead in the eyes, like just calm and just kind of like he was taking in everyone around him.
Like a shark, you know what I mean? Not to say sharks are bad. The airline said the flight crew followed, quote,
Did you not want to offend the shark community?
Yeah, because this guy's awful. Sorry. I like sharks. The flight crew followed, quote, appropriate FAA procedures and guidance from air traffic control. What we don't know yet is why he tried to take down the plane. What would you do? What do we think? If these people in authority that we think we can give them all this trust and suddenly we can't, what would you do?
I mean,
what would you do in that? I don't know.
I think we should be happy that there were two other adults there that were able to handle this. The bottom line is, and George Cullen had a great rant about this, nothing is 100% safe. I'm sorry, it's not, and we try to do everything. These pilots are trained. Erica, more the FAA, the flight controllers, they're good at their jobs, but sometimes somebody snaps, but they don't write it on their forehead. And that's the scary thing. Anybody can identify somebody outside that's clearly lost the thread a little bit. But it's hard when they got their uniform on and pants are tucked in. And the only thing we can hope for is that other professionals are there to step in and do their job, and they did in this situation, scary as it may be.
Right, because the truth is he could have done this while he was manning the plane.
Exactly.
Wow.
And the idea that this happened when he wasn't, when he was deadheading is just a miracle, really, because someone else was able to jump in and take control. But it's like, what? Nothing is shocking anymore.
Right.
Like, I want to be like, who or why would anybody do this? But it's like, Yeah, of course someone tried to do that.
Take off the engines.
Yeah.
You know, people wrote in, Jeff, before when we just showed the picture going to commercial, that guy's got the eyes, something about the eyes. A lot of people in the chat were talking about. Did you see that too?
Yeah, there's such thing as dead eyes or crazy eyes. I really think there is, right? But for me, you know, like we try to humanize him, putting him at home. Oh, there he is with his family. For me, I wish street justice was taken out on an airplane. You know, and I hate to be like that guy, but I would give him the death penalty. He has no concern for the 100 and whatever other families that are on that plane. Why should we have concern for him because he's laying with his family? So you're going to kill all those families, but yet we're going to show you some sort of remorse and be like, all right, well, maybe it's a mental health thing. Let's just put you in this facility so you could live out your days. I'm not with that. You know what I mean? I'm for harsher justice.
83 attempted counts of murder.
That's,
I mean,
could reach
the death penalty.
That's pretty harsh. No, he could reach the death penalty if they have it. We'll be right back in Washington.
Because of increased tension in many hot spots around the world, the State Department issued a worldwide caution when it comes to travel. But what if you find yourself in a crisis and need to get back to the United States? We are looking at some questions so we can verify if and when the U.S. will help. Our sources, U.S. Department of State Bureau of Consular Affairs, federal law, and the State Department Basic Authorities Act of 1956. Our first question, will the United States government always evacuate citizens in crises? According to the U.S. Department of State, if there are no commercial options, if there are consular officers at the embassy, and if conditions permit, they will help U.S. citizens identify possible transportation options. Or they will encourage people to stay at a safe location until they can find a commercial option to leave. So we can verify that no, depending on the situation, the U.S. government won't always evacuate citizens. And finally, do you have to pay the U.S. government for evacuations if it's needed? According to federal law, assisted evacuation of a private U.S. citizen must be reimbursed to the maximum extent practicable. The payment for people who evacuate during times of war, crisis, or natural disaster has been in place for more than 60 years when it was included under the State Department Basic Authorities Act of 1956. The U.S. Department of State says you do not have to pay before you board any transportation. However, you will need to sign a form promising to repay the U.S. government. So we can verify that, yes, if the U.S. government helps evacuate you, you need to repay them for the cost. With your Verified, I'm Megan Bragg.
Welcome back to DBL. The cost of living is at an all-time high, but could you imagine choosing to leave the comfort of your home behind to live in a tent full-time? Earlier, we spoke with Christine Blue, a mom who decided to do just that. Check it out.
If I can do this for 3 months, then I'm going to commit to it full-time. This is a lifestyle that I've wanted to pursue for probably the better part of 5 years now, and we are going to give it a trial run this summer.
It was a leap of faith that led Christine Blue and her son Britton to embark on a 2-year journey living off the grid.
Initially, it was just meant to be something fun, but then as time went on, I saw how much money I could save doing that as well.
Through hot summers and harsh winters, they made a 4-season Bell tent home.
When we landed here, we already had like a working system of how to haul, where to find water, how to haul water, chopping our own firewood, all that kind of stuff, to using solar power for our devices and whatnot.
And while most people would have probably thought this was crazy, they found the place that would become their forever home.
Oh, wow. Christine Blue, welcome to DBL. What a cool story.
So, Christine, I have to know, your son was a preteen when you chose to do this. What did he think of moving into a tent full time?
He thought I was crazy, like everybody else did, but he had fun with it. It was just a few days in. He goes, you know what, this is actually a lot of fun. I really like this. So yeah, we never really had issues with that.
Well, speaking of challenges, I can only imagine that you faced a number of them. What were some of the good times and bad times?
Definitely the weather was probably one of my biggest fears. I did not like wind. I learned very quickly that I just did not like wind. And I was always glued to my phone to know what direction it was coming from that day, how strong it was going to be, and just always having to prepare for that. Also, I do live in the north. I'm up here in the Finger Lakes in upstate New York. So we do have all 4 seasons here, and we have pretty harsh winters. So definitely going through the winter was always, I always had some apprehension. We went through some blizzards where my son and I would actually stay up all night just to make sure that the perimeter of the tent, we would take like 30-minute intervals. Every 30 minutes, we'd go outside, shovel the perimeter of the tent, keep the guy lines clear so that we could get to them, make sure that the snow was cleared off of the tent so that it didn't pile up and cause the center pole to buckle. So those were definitely probably the biggest challenges, was just the weather.
You started a business after moving into this tent. So first of all, congratulations. And how did that help you chase your dream?
Well, because I was living I had eliminated so many expenses from my life, right? I had eliminated, rent, utilities, and other expenses, and was, able to live on so much less that I decided that this is the time to just quit my full-time job. I was doing like DoorDash and Uber Eats full-time. And I said, if I can live on less, then I can afford to make less. At the time, my Etsy shop was bringing in just enough passive income to kind of float me along, so that I could focus on growing my crochet business. I'm a crochet pattern designer. I write crochet patterns that I sell on Etsy for people to buy, like the printable versions.
That is so cool. Christine, thank you so much for sharing your awesome story with us. DBL Nation, to keep up with Christine and her tiny cabin renovations, follow her on TikTok at Appaloosa Mama. Also, to get crochet tips and tricks and more of her designs, scan the QR code you see right now on your screen. Thank you again, Christine.
Around 8 to 10 million people are treated for urinary tract infections, or UTIs, annually. UTIs happen when bacteria infect the urinary tract, including the bladder and the kidneys. Though the most common UTI treatment is antibiotics, if you've ever had a UTI, chances are somebody suggested that you drink cranberry juice to make it go away. Verify viewer Naguri asked us if that is a legit treatment. So let's verify using these sources. According to experts at Houston Methodist Hospital, HealthWise, and Kaiser Permanente, no studies have shown that drinking cranberry juice or taking cranberry supplements actually works to treat UTIs.
An article published in 2020 by Urology Associates explains that cranberry won't cure a UTI because it will not kill the bacteria that causes the infection.
So we can verify there is no evidence that cranberry juice is an effective treatment for an active urinary tract infection. So where did this claim come from? According to urologist Dr. Leslie Rickey,
there is pretty good data and increasing data that some forms of cranberry might help prevent urinary tract infections.
Experts at Piedmont Healthcare and Houston Methodist say it's likely because of proanthocyanidins, a substance found in cranberries that may keep the bacteria that causes UTIs from sticking to bladder walls in the first place and causing an infection. So, while cranberry juice won't treat UTIs, the FDA says consuming 1 8-ounce serving each day of cranberry juice beverage may help reduce the risk of recurrent urinary tract infection. With your Verify, I'm Ariante Till.
Ready to fall back on November 5th as most states once again mark the end of daylight saving time. 2 Verify viewers texted us to ask if, after this year, the U.S. plans to remain on daylight saving time permanently. So, let's verify. Our sources are the Uniform Time Act, the Sunshine Protection Act, and the National Conference of State Legislatures. The Uniform Time Act created a nationwide daylight saving time schedule to move our clocks forward in the spring and back in the fall. The law allows states to opt out of the schedule and remain on standard time year-round, which is why Hawaii, most of Arizona, and U.S. territories don't change their clocks. However, many states would prefer to remain on daylight saving time year-round. In the last 5 years, 19 states have either enacted legislation or passed resolutions to stay sprung forward all year long. California voters also passed a proposition to stay on daylight saving time, but that still needs action from the state legislature. No state can switch to DST until they get congressional approval. In 2021, the House didn't take up a bill to keep daylight saving time year-round, and a similar bill is currently pending with no signs that Congress will vote on it this year. So, no, the U.S. is not planning to remain on daylight saving time year-round.
We want you.
I'm just so excited. Here we go.
Be a part of the DBL audience for a special Halloween show on October 30th. For tickets and to reserve your seat, email us at info@dailyblastlive.com. Are you willing to come to our Halloween special? Okay, welcome back. We've got some great products from our friends at Morning Save. Check them out.
So what do you have for us today, Steph?
First up today, we've got this Simple Living 6-piece garment wash sheet set. We've got the set in 6 colors, 3 sizes, full, queen and king. And sheets are always a top seller on Morning Save. Normally, they are between $60 to $80. We've got a set for just $24.99. That is saving 69%.
What else we got, Steph?
All right, now this is definitely up your alley. It's the Phantom Chef 2-piece Grove Collection non-stick pan set. So this doorbuster deal includes one 8-inch pan and one 11-inch pan. The doorbuster deals have been wildly popular. So you guys, there's a limit of 3 per customer. Normally, it's $76. But we have got a 2-piece set for just $20. That's saving 74%. All right, now this is my kind of buy. It is the Rejovic 6-piece anti-aging collagen boosting skincare set. This deal includes 2 eye creams, 2 boosting serums, and 2 melting creams. And guess what? It's normally $330. But we have it for $19.99. That's saving 94%.
And you know what else is great? You also get 2 of everything.
If you want to treat someone, this is the gift. It is the Diamond Muse 1/4 carat TW Diamond Heart Toggle Bracelet in sterling silver. Diamond Muse jewelry is always a top-selling product because it's beautiful quality and we give a great discount. Normally, this is $395. We've got it for $39.99. That's saving 90%.
Steph, you are bringing the deals. Hey, that's 2 in a row, over 90% savings. Head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices, or you can even scan the QR code on the screen to take you directly to these products on Morning Save's website. Again, Steph, great job as always.
Good job, Jeff.
Sweet, sweet deals.
Yeah, was it a good job? You think you'd...
They're sold out already, yeah.
Oh, they're gone? Everything?
Everything.
Everything's sold out.
Good luck finding it.
Are you sad?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I was hoping those lanterns that turned
Tori, we missed you.
I really?
We really did.
I really missed you guys, too.
I took all that stuff, too, and put it in my trunk. Yeah. Merry Christmas, everybody.
See you later. Merry Christmas. Bye, guys.